In this podcast episode, Jonny Miller delves into the complexities of emotional awareness, regulation, and the journey toward feeling more connected to our emotions. Growing up in a culture that often promotes stoicism, particularly in England, both the host and Miller reflect on their experiences of emotional numbness and the societal expectations that discourage open emotional expression. This conversation explores the importance of understanding and embracing our emotions, the impact of societal norms, and practical strategies for emotional regulation. Miller begins by discussing the cultural backdrop of emotional expression in England, where the mantra, "keep calm and carry on," often leads to a suppression of feelings. He shares his personal journey of feeling disconnected from his emotions, realizing that he had been numb from the neck down. Over the past few years, he has worked to reconnect with the emotional spectrum within himself, appreciating the various flavors of feelings that arise. Both Miller and the host acknowledge that expressing emotions, especially for men, can be seen as a sign of weakness. In environments like nightlife, where competition and bravado are prevalent, there is little room for vulnerability. Miller expresses disappointment with campaigns like "It's Okay to Talk," arguing that they fail to address the deeper issue of emotional awareness. He emphasizes that many people, including himself, often struggle to identify what they are truly feeling, defaulting to a limited range of emotions such as anxiety and worry. The conversation shifts to the broader context of societal turmoil, including political changes and climate concerns, which can exacerbate feelings of anxiety and frustration. Miller reflects on the idea of being a stoic ship in a storm, suggesting that while it may seem noble to remain unaffected by external chaos, it is essential to acknowledge and process the emotions that arise from these experiences. He advocates for a more fluid relationship with emotions, where individuals can learn to regulate their nervous systems and use their feelings to inform their decisions. Miller explores the origins of emotional numbness, attributing it to a lack of safety in expressing feelings during childhood. He shares his experiences of being bullied and feeling that sadness and anger were not acceptable emotions. This lack of safety leads to a cycle of repression, where emotions are either bottled up or expressed in unhealthy ways, such as passive aggression or aggression towards others. The discussion highlights the importance of creating a safe space for emotional expression. Miller emphasizes that understanding and feeling emotions is not just about intellectual awareness. It requires a deeper connection to the body and its sensations. He introduces the concept of interoception, the ability to sense internal bodily states, as a crucial skill for emotional awareness. Miller outlines three essential skills for emotional regulation: interoception, self-regulation, and emotional fluidity. Interoception involves tuning into bodily sensations and recognizing emotional states. Miller suggests practices such as bonds and mindfulness techniques to enhance this awareness. Self-regulation, on the other hand, focuses on techniques to calm the nervous system when emotions become overwhelming. Miller shares various methods, including breathing exercises like 4-4-8 breathing and humming, which can help activate the parasympathetic nervous system and promote relaxation. He emphasizes the importance of recognizing early signs of emotional activation and employing these techniques to regain a sense of calm. Emotional fluidity is about embracing the full spectrum of emotions, including those that may feel uncomfortable. Miller encourages listeners to welcome all emotions, recognizing that they are part of the human experience. He shares his personal journey of learning to feel anger and sadness without judgment, ultimately finding that these emotions can lead to deeper connections with oneself and others. A significant portion of the conversation revolves around the practice of breathwork as a tool for emotional exploration and regulation. Miller describes facilitated breathwork as a method that allows individuals to access and process emotions that may be trapped in the body. He explains that breathwork can create a safe container for emotions to arise, enabling individuals to confront and integrate their feelings. Miller emphasizes that breathwork is not about achieving a specific state or winning at the practice. Rather, it is about allowing emotions to flow naturally. He shares his experiences of using breathwork to navigate grief and anger, highlighting the importance of creating space for these emotions to be felt and expressed. As the conversation progresses, Miller critiques the self-improvement industry, arguing that it often operates on the flawed premise that individuals need to be fixed. He suggests that this mindset can create resistance to genuine emotional exploration. Instead, he advocates for a perspective of self-unfoldment, where individuals approach their emotions with curiosity and acceptance, rather than a desire to change or fix themselves. Miller encourages listeners to consider what it would be like to embrace their current state without the pressure to improve. He believes that growth and transformation will naturally occur when individuals feel safe and accepted in their emotional experiences. To help listeners begin their journey toward emotional awareness and regulation, Miller offers practical suggestions. He recommends incorporating daily practices such as non-sleep deep rest and interoceptive awareness exercises. By regularly checking in with their bodies and emotions, individuals can cultivate a deeper understanding of their internal landscape. Miller also highlights the importance of seeking support from therapists or groups that focus on somatic exploration. He believes that having a safe space to process emotions with others can significantly enhance one's capacity for emotional fluidity. In closing, Jonny Miller emphasizes the importance of embracing the full spectrum of human emotions. He encourages listeners to move beyond the limitations of societal expectations and to explore their emotional landscapes with curiosity and openness. By doing so, individuals can cultivate a richer, more fulfilling experience of life, ultimately leading to greater emotional resilience and connection with themselves and others. This conversation stresses that feeling our emotions, both the joyful and the painful, is an essential part of being human. By learning to navigate our emotional experiences with awareness and compassion, we can transform frustration into understanding and connection, enriching our lives in the process.